Good evening, competitors, families, and friends of the Shoals Big Idea competition. If you are here purely for the reason that you just want to find out what this is all about, this movement to form our own destiny, well then we particularly welcome you. And we invite you to join our mission to bring an independent spirit into our community, one that charts our own course and does not linger about waiting for opportunity to knock, but rather creates opportunity from our rich resources we have here in the Shoals, Alabama, namely our people. We have all the resources here to become wildly successful. And when we assert ourselves and our ideas, we will attract the very best resources from other parts of the country and indeed the world. When I was growing up and attending local elementary schools in the mid to late 60s, I recall a moment when a teacher asked us to stand up individually and tell where our daddies worked. Such a request would seem oddly out of place today, but I remember it well because student after student stood up near their desk and responded one of three ways. They would say, "My daddy works at Reynolds Aluminum. My daddy works at TVA. My daddy works at Ford Motor Company." This story illustrates what the recent history of the Shoals has left on our psyche. These fathers, which were mentioned from the floor of my elementary school class, were well cared for by a lifelong employment which led to nice pensions that would see them through crib to grave. They fully expected their children would have the same life plan, but of course this is not the case, and that might not be so bad. This paradigm shift has everything to do with why we are gathered here tonight. Today's public and privately held companies are no longer providing the security of lifetime employment and bonded retirements. Jobs are overseas. The spirit of invention still remains an American treasure, but only to have these ingenious widgets we invent be built and assembled offshore. We see our children leave our hometown, state, and region in order to make a living for their young families. As in all challenges presented to a people since the beginning of time, it is how a certain population responds to their current circumstances that leads them to either slowly wither away or to thrive and live fully to pursue a life of happiness and contentment. The big idea was born of such a hope that the Shoals will thrive, invent, and build the next generation with a new technology hub. Last fall, a group of such thinkers met to determine what current and future businesses would need in order to grow, expand, and allow our locally grown talent, our children, to remain here to live and raise their families. This initiative was and is called Strategic Doing. From those first meetings, various sub-projects have been born to assure that action will be taken and given to a dream. For without action, our dreams remain swirling about in our heads. The Big Idea competition is one such sub-project born from strategic doing. It fosters the action of getting those dreams out of our heads and onto the drawing board. You are a privileged group here tonight, where you will see the drawing board presented verbally. It is our belief that as competitions like this one continue, you will witness the birth of local businesses that support other local businesses who attract more businesses to settle here. But more importantly, these fledgling businesses will support families. Competitions such as this give individuals who have dreams, who are working from their garages, their breakfast tables, and coffee shop loungers, a place to launch those dreams. It takes a spark, an idea from an individual to get something started, but it takes a community saying, "We are with you. How can we help? And let's build it here." for those dreams to become a reality. Folks, we are that community. We are the friendly-minded, business-savvy, safe place from which people with big ideas can come for support and backing. Thank you all so much for joining us in this evolutionary shift for the future of the Shoals, Alabama. And now I'd like to turn over the program to two very capable MCs, Masters of Ceremony, and they are quite fitting to lead us the way because our idea is to let young people have the opportunity to take leadership roles, and they will surprise us all. So without further ado, I would like to present those MCs, Anisha Bora and Kristen Anderson.
Hi everyone. Before we get started, I just want to go over the rules for the competition. So each presenter will have 3 minutes to share their idea, 2 minutes for Q&A from the judges. The judges will be looking for imagination and creativity, the problem that the idea addresses, potential benefits of the idea, and passion of the presenter.
Now I'd like to welcome Mr. Rod Shepard. He received his bachelor's degree and his master's degree from the University of North Alabama, and he's currently working on his doctorate at Samford. He's the principal at the Florence Freshman Center, and with the energy and passion he brings every day, he's just truly great at his job. He motivates the students and just brings a really great learning environment to the Freshman Center. So please help me welcome Mr. Rod Shepard.
Thank you. I'll pay you later for that nice introduction. Good evening, y'all. What a great event this is. Let's think about it. From the stagecoach to the jumbo jet, from the Z3 to the iPad, from the telegraph to the cell phone, from the Industrial Revolution to the digital age. Man has constantly tried to do something that would make the world better, to improve the quality of life, and give us the opportunity to work smarter, but not harder. The same thing is evident in an event such as this. You know, innovation begins one idea at a time. That's one thing, one original idea that enters into the mind of a young person or an older person that is put into action and then becomes the next big thing. Becomes the idea of something that's everybody's going to know about. You know, when I was in high school, I never heard the word Google. I can't make it through the day to day without using the word Google. I find everything on Google. I even use it in my doctoral program. Don't tell my professors. But at any rate, dealing with that idea, that came from somebody. It came from somewhere. Today, here in just a few moments, you're going to hear from 3 individuals who have an idea. They dared to dream. They dared to enter this contest, and for that, they're about to be recognized, and one of them will become the winner. You know, in the Florence City school system, as well as the other school systems that are around here, it is our sole desire to be able to offer opportunities that will help our students be able to produce and compete in the global age. Jobs that they're going to have in the future don't even exist today because somebody hasn't taken the opportunity yet to create the technology that they will be using to be able to carry out the functions of those jobs. You know, I was doing some research, and I came across an idea that there are only 964 businesses in the United States that employ individuals today, that employ individuals over 10,000 individuals today. What am I saying by that? What I'm saying by that is that innovation and creativity, creating your own opportunities to be able to make your way, is the way of the future, is the way of today. And an event like this, of course, hallmarks such an event. I am proud to be able to do this introduction on behalf of my superintendent, Dr. Janet Womack, who couldn't be here tonight. One of the examples of opportunities that we offer our students is evident here tonight. Our television production class is here streaming this event live, and of course, dealing with that opportunity, we also offer other opportunities out there for our students, such as the Geek Squad. A couple of kids came across with an idea that they were going to create a technology course that would help our technology department be able to help our teachers facilitate what they do day in and day out. Came from an idea. So again, I thank you for this opportunity to offer this welcome on behalf of my superintendent, Dr. Janet Womack, and you're in for a treat. Thank you.
We'll be starting out with the middle school and high school category of the competition. Our first presenter is Hill Levitt. He's a 5th grader at Hibbett Middle School. He's currently SGA secretary and is running for president next year. Hill has started several small businesses and when he gets older, he will continue to be an entrepreneur. Hill.
Hi, I'm Hill Levitt, and I love the Shoals. I love UNA, First Fridays, WC Handy Fest, and Cypress Creek. Well, I could go on and on, but I need to tell you all about my big idea. I wanted to come up with an idea that would solve a problem that is very useful and something that everyone in this room could use today. I was talking to my sister about the big idea, and one problem that everyone has is that your phone dies. What happens when your phone is at 10% and you need to call your mom and tell her where you are, but your phone dies? Do you think she's going to believe you when you tell her your phone died again? What do? You need power. We have plenty of power in our homes and in our cars, but when we're enjoying all the great areas of the Shoals, we can't just plug our phones up to get that 20% we really need. That's when it came to me. Well, to be honest, it came to my sister and I. But the idea for charging stations all around the Shoals, and to make the charging stations more green, let's make them solar-powered charging stations. Check this out. The Shoals. We love the outdoors in the Shoals, and these days no one goes anywhere without their phone. So if we create these solar charging stations, then students can study outside. Tourists at the Handy Fest can take all the pictures and videos that they want without having to worry about their phone dying. Now, I really like the idea of solar charging stations on the tables outside Starbucks on campus. That would definitely be a selling point for students looking at UNA. I've done some research, and solar charging stations are being put on college campuses and in bigger cities. So why not the Shoals? We are all here because we want the Shoals to be the next leader in digital technology. By using my big idea, we can make the Shoals more tech-friendly, and tech companies will want to call the Shoals home. Now, I know I'm only a kid, but I do know that solar-powered charging stations are the big idea that solves a big problem today. Thanks for listening to my big idea.
Next up, we have Jalen Kirkman. Jalen is a 6th grader at Kilby Laboratory School, and he's a member of the Boy Scouts and enjoys karate and swimming. Jalen is the son of Drs. Eric and Tara Kirkman. So please help me welcome Jalen.
Hi, I'm Jalen Kirkman. I'm from Kilby Laboratory School, and today I'm here to present to you the Shoals, a leader of digital technology in the 21st century. Problems. There's a need to increase the use of digital technology in the Shoals area. There are not enough internet access options in rural areas, such as in 2011 when there were tornadoes. Not a lot of rural places got a fair warning, which means they could not have a lot of time to get to shelter. There's also a need to educate the community and develop future leaders in digital technology. This is my big idea for bringing digital technology solutions. We could use land from TVA to build towers. Using the internet access from the towers, we could team up with different companies such as Apple, Verizon, Samsung, Amazon, and AT&T to come up with new and fresh ideas. Using those ideas, we could work with AT&T to make Uverse available to all communities. Voting could be conducted online by using bioidentification, which means you could use your thumbprint or your eye, and they would know when you voted and who voted. Grocery shopping can be carried out by using the barcode scanner on your cellular device, which also decreases having to take your heavy groceries to the car, and also keeps you from walking down those long lines. Hybrid classes can be offered to high school students, which gives them a head start since hybrid classes are offered in college. Here's my big idea for educating the community. We could hold seminars hosted by expert teachers about digital technology and entrepreneurship, and hopefully hold different research projects that goes more in depth with the research of digital technology. We could have job placement tests which could be administered to determine if entrepreneurism would be a good career choice for a student. Here are some of the ideas that I had earlier in my paper, and I would like to show you the benefits. By building towers, it can help communications in rural areas and also help for predicting weather patterns and crop production. Teaming up with external companies can help come up with a variety of creative ideas for all ages. Online voting by identification can help make the voting process easier and can cut down on voter disenfranchisement. Online grocery shopping can help eliminate having to wait in long lines, and it's just a more efficient way to shop. Hybrid classes creates easier access to educational opportunities. Educating the community can create more leaders and entrepreneurs for the Shoals. This concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
Judges, come on. Giles? Giles. Call me. Giles, come on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we overlooked our last participant's Q&A. Does anybody have any questions for him? Any of the judges? No? Okay. So our next participant is actually a team, Brooks Robotics. The students who worked at the Big Idea are Martin Hunter, Drew Castaneda, Logan Smith, Kaylee Smith, Aaron Hawley, Hannah Strickland, Cassidy White, Carter Yancey, Logan Smith, and Haley Sixton. The Brooks High School robotics team, RoboCon, has existed for 3 years and competes annually in the Northwest Best Robotics Competition. The last 2 years, they've advanced to South Best Robotics Competition. RoboCon is also actively involved with the community and recently designed, built, and installed a robot exhibit at the local children's museum.
Hello, my name is Joey Pellner, and this is Barkley Hunter, and we're here to present to you our big idea, the Smart Light. As you can see here, there's a stop and go light and a car approaching it. As he approaches the stop and go light, it turns red, and he has one of two options to either slam on his brakes, potentially causing a rear-end collision, or go through the red light and therefore breaking the law. In 2012 alone, there was 683 deaths, 133,000 injuries, and over 2.5 million accidents reported. Rear-end collisions are the most common type of accidents in the United States.
So we asked the question, how do we solve this problem? Well, our idea is smart lights. They're not like typical red lights because they incorporate sensors into the road leading up to the red light that detects oncoming traffic and holds the red light green until the car is safely passed. So in this illustration, we're using a smart light, and the oncoming car doesn't have to worry about the light turning red as he approaches because a sensor in the road detects his approach. and the light stays green until he's safely cleared the intersection. Then, once he is safely cleared, the light will turn red unless it detects more oncoming traffic. And if traffic continues to come for too long, then a timer will turn the light red.
Here's some benefits of the smart lights. Congestion is eased and traffic can flow easily.
Accidents are reduced because cars don't have to slam on their brakes or run red lights.
The cars don't have to floor their brakes because they have awareness on when the light is going to turn red and when it'll stay green.
And they save fuel efficiency because they can keep rolling instead of stopping for red lights. So this solution to this common problem was presented by Brooks High School Robotics, Robocon. And are there any questions?
Is this a product that's on the market?
Ma'am?
Is it a product that's on the market, or do we have to invent the product?
It's not yet invented, but we have all the ideas for it. It just needs to be, made by someone who's able to make it correctly.
And it could easily be made to incorporate the current system that detects cars stopped at the red lights using sensors.
Sorry?
What would it detect? Would it work as like the magnetic loops, or would it use like a radar that determines the mass of the vehicle? How would it determine a vehicle is there? Have you thought about that
It
part of
could
it?
use pressure or weight or motion sensing, just any technology that's available.
Okay, I ride a motorcycle, and those don't always work. And motorcycle riders, typically one of our largest fears is exactly what you're talking about, the light changing, not having time to stop. So I think it's a great thing for safety, but I would like you to think about the motorcycle aspect of it.
It is possible that there could be some sort of laser system that when a laser is broken, it interprets that as the motion of a vehicle passing.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question. In the case of ongoing traffic on a busy intersection, perhaps where there's a lot of traffic coming in one direction, at what point would you override the sensor on the light to say, okay, enough time has passed, right? We need to turn this light red, otherwise people coming the other direction will never get an opportunity to proceed.
Yes, there would be a shorter timer that's used to detect when the car would be clear of the intersection. And then if there is still more traffic, it would hold the light. But in the background, there would also be a longer timer used as kind of a master reset. So if traffic kept coming, or if the sensor was broken and not functioning correctly, then a timer would still be able to control the red light normally.
At the point that the longer timer kicks in, wouldn't you at that point be in the same situation that you currently have with existing red lights?
Yes, it is possible, but it would not be nearly as common.
So that wraps it up for the middle school, high school category. We now have Dr. James Jerkins. Dr. Jerkins has over 25 years of experience in enterprise-scale computer networking and cybersecurity. He has been a member of the computer science faculty at UNA since 2008, and he also sponsors the UNA Robotics Club. So please help me welcome Dr. James Jerkins and his team. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so we're going to do a brief demonstration for you. And so what we have today is we have 7 robots and then Sharpies. And so now I just need a ball. No, I'm just kidding. And so what we've got is we've got a piece of paper, and we're going to lay that out and tape that down, and then we're going to have the robots spell out a message for us. So, as our MC said, I am the co-sponsor of the Math Computer Science Undergraduate Research Team. I'm also the co-leader of the dual degree engineering program here at the University of North Alabama. That's a program where students can come to the University of North Alabama for approximately 3 years and study either math or computer science or physics or chemistry, and then they can transfer to the University of Alabama and study for 2 more years and earn a degree in engineering that matches that degree that they earned here at UNA. If you'd like more information about the dual degree engineering program, it's on our website, www.una.edu/math, and then look for the link that says dual degree engineering program. The students here are my researchers and my computer science students. And so we've got Chuck and Cole and Jeffrey and Morgan and Graham and Ben and Tyler, and they're going to turn the robots on for us. And so I'm going to count down from, actually you're going to help me, we're going to count down from 5, and on 1, they're going to turn the robots on. All right, so everybody ready? Yes. All right, awesome, so here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did I mention they're super fast? What? There's a Sharpie that's no good?
The technology works.
The technology works, so we're going to
All I know is my egg works.
All right, so of course the problem with this demonstration is that we're not in Dr. Gaston's lovely drone and we can't see it from above. All right, so I'm going to have to pick it up for you and show it to you. All right, so we're going to pick it up now and show you the message from the robots.
All righty. Just make it.
Thank you.
Thank you, UNA Robotics. So if you look at this slide behind me, you'll see that even if your favorite presenter does not win overall in their category, they still have a chance to win $100 as we are presenting another award called Crowd Favorite. If you tweet using the hashtag SBIC and with the last name of your favorite presenter, we will tally that up at the end, and that presenter will be given $100. So keep that in mind, and this slide will be put up multiple times throughout the presentations.
All right, get ready for our community category. I'd like to welcome Mr. Steve Holt to the stage. Mr. Holt has been president of the Shoals Chamber of Commerce since July 1994. The Shoals Chamber of Commerce consists of nearly 1,000 members. Of those, 90% are small businesses. The Chamber is in the middle of the implementation stage of its 5-year plan, the Rhythm of Commerce. So to tell you more about it, here's Mr. Holt.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for the opportunity to be here on behalf of the approximately 1,000 members of the Shoals Chamber of Commerce. I think Grace has covered it, Rod's covered part of it. From the mid-1940s till the early 1980s, we were perhaps one of the best blue-collar communities in the South, if not the entire country. That's changed on us, and it's changed in the last 30 years, and we keep working at it. But what we're seeing here, and what we've been doing with the Shoals Chamber of Commerce, which, again, 67% of our members have 10 or less employees, and 42% have 5 or less employees. So it's very much a small business organization, but it would look like the Atlanta Chamber or the Birmingham Chamber in terms of small businesses, because that's what happens in a community. Investors start businesses, and that's what we're looking at in our Rhythm of Commerce campaign, which is a community campaign that looks at business growth, entrepreneurship, the non-traditional, the startup side of things, the innovative side of things, and we are so proud to partner with the University of North Alabama, with Northwest Shoals Community College, with the Alabama Technology Network, the Shoals Entrepreneurial Center, and others to move this forward. And just in the last 6 months, we've been through innovation engineering, strategic doing, 3-day startup. We've got so much going on now with the big idea and other things coming up to maybe change the culture of this community, to see that you can do it. I got a call Monday from someone that said, I'd like to start a business. Do you know what the gaps are here and what I might go into? And my response to that person was, before you look at that side of it, you need to know what you're good at, what your experience and expertise is, and what you're passionate for. Let's look at that first. And so what you're doing here, you're bringing the passion to the table. I commend the first three, and now we're going to look at the community side of things with the next three presenters, and we wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
We now have Mike and Carol Pyle. Michael Pyle is a singer-songwriter-producer raised in Muscle Shoals. Carol is a former radio announcer for WSM in Nashville and KSON in San Diego. They have come up with an idea that could greatly assist the Shoals area. Whether you're moving here or just visiting, it might be the perfect way to become acquainted with our beautiful area and its musical heritage.
Hey everybody.
Hi, good evening.
Please don't start the egg timer yet. Give us
We just want to thank you for considering this idea. I'm Carol, this is Mike, of course, and he's going to present the idea.
Now, egg time. Hold on one second. When the Muscle Shoals movie was released a couple years ago, interest in the area went through the roof. Not just nationwide, but worldwide. As a result, tourism to the Shoals has been on an upswing. We have friends in the music business that have told us that the studios are staying booked and that the request for Muscle Shoals merchandise went from being almost non-existent to seeing hundreds of items a month being shipped all over the world. All of this had a large part in the thought process when trying to come up with a simple, practical idea that could be a great service to visitors and also help in promoting the area. The idea is for an application called Shoals Trek. It's really a very simple concept, and it works like this. When someone is planning on coming to the area or already here, they would download the app before touring the sites. For example, if you were at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, you would see a small sign about the size of a window decal that has a very prominent ST on it, that'd be for Shoals Trek. And right below that, a quick response or QR code. The person would hold their phone or Android device up to the code, scan it, and then it would take them to a page about that particular site or attraction that they're currently standing right in front of. People in other places are already using QR codes for everything. Realtors have started putting them on the houses. Of course, around here, they still put the brochures about the listing in the little mailbox out front. Most of the time, the box is empty, but if you are lucky enough to get one, it usually looks a little like this. We have a few places here in the Shoals that have been given historical designations. We've all seen the metal sign on the pole out front, but we also know that they can be faded and hard to read. The ST letters would be easily spotted and could be reflective as well for nighttime recognition. There are a lot of places that we would love people to see here that don't have that designation and consequently no signage at all. After scanning the code, you'll see a page with a written description of the site as well as a Google map with a pinpoint of that location and all of the other ones on the Shoals Trek out. There will also be links to more websites and pages about each location that you can read later. When Carol first told me about the idea, I thought it was solid and achievable. We're aware that the nuts and bolts of the app would change a few times before reaching fruition, but the concept is sound. The app could either be offered at no charge, supported through the tourism bureaus and community, or be downloaded for a small fee, with the funds going back into helping folks in the area that need the most help. Further monetization could come into the picture if local businesses such as restaurants and shops want to get involved. We believe that they're all going to want a dot on that map and a page on that app. The Shoals Trek out. If you have questions, we will try and answer. We do not. We would have to get an app developer. It's just an idea. I don't think Google's going to be offering Carol or I a job anytime soon, so we would have to bring some help on. Thank you, folks.
Okay, next up we have Mr. Jerome Gafford. Jerome is originally from Florence, Alabama, and attended UNA, completing his BBA in marketing in 2003 and an MBA in marketing and international business in 2004. He's an assistant professor of marketing at UNA. Prior to entering the world of academia, he worked in professional sales for 20 years. He's currently the director of the UNA Center for Professional Selling, housed in the College of Business.
Thank you very much. My idea starts off with this question: what if? And this question I pose to my students often because I try to get them to think about stuff that may not often think about. And this question kind of gets them to open their minds and think a little bit about things from a different perspective. I saw a quote one time from Warren Buffett, the brains behind Berkshire Hathaway. He said that the purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open mind. And so I want you to think about having an open mind as we go through and talk a little bit about this idea. What if we could take the facility like we have in Barton, Alabama? This is a picture of our rail car facility located down in Barton, Alabama. It was built on the premise that it was going to create rail cars to be shipped all over the world. And through some different things that happened in the business world, that plan never came to full fruition. However, we still have a state-of-the-art facility built here in the Shoals area. And what if we could impose some of the technology that we've heard about today and some of the ideas that have come about today and put that technology into a building like this, and instead of building these kind of trains, let's build these kind of trains. High-speed rail systems. We hear about it all over the world, all over our country, but we don't have it implemented in our country just yet, okay? And so my idea is to take resources that we have available here in the Shoals area, add to that, and start to build a network of a commuter rail system that can connect regionally and across the country to help us out with several things dealing with travel woes in our area. What if you could travel from Florence or from the Shoals area to Huntsville in 30 minutes? What if you could travel to Memphis or Nashville or Birmingham in about an hour? What if you could travel to Atlanta or Jackson, Mississippi or Bowling Green, Kentucky in less than 2 hours? What if you could go to the beach in less than 3 hours? How about that? Spring break's coming up. You could be at the beach in 3 hours. Might not be a bad trip. All in the comfort and convenience of a high-speed rail system that is a safe travel and can get you there in a very fast and efficient way. Some of the issues we're addressing here. If you look at regional travel, what if we could make regional travel much easier? What if it was much more convenient, more in line with time schedules for other airlines and other modes of transportation? What if it was inexpensive? I've got to drive to Nashville as soon as we get out of this meeting tonight, 2.5 hours to pick up some people flying in from the West Coast, and 2.5 hours back. It's about $40 or $50 in fuel and 5 hours of my time, okay? Regional travel, what if it worked for everyone? Question comes about when we can see what would help us out here with this. More jobs created in North Alabama. More opportunities for businesses that come here to support this industry. Government subsidies would benefit more people. Currently, we're familiar with the EAS, the Essential Air Service subsidy that's paid to local and regional airports to subsidize air travel. That last year was about $246 million. If we could implement those kind of funds and drive it into a program for a high-speed rail system that would be much more beneficial to everyone, that might be a good idea. What if these existing resources could be used more efficiently? This is the idea behind the what if question. So, what if North Alabama was the driver for this system? What if we could implement the tools and the technology to make this happen with the existing resources that we have here now? If we could do that, we could change that question from what if to why not. So that is my challenge to this group today and to our community. Why not? Don't be part of the status quo. Let's be part of the status quo. My name is Jerome Gafford, and this is my big idea. answer any questions.
You say that it's 246 for the air service to rural communities. Do you have any idea what kind of funds you're talking about for what this would take?
I did not research funding as far as implementation. I know it's quite large. Looking at some research from other countries, it's in the several billions of dollars. But if you're looking at the fares that could be generated off of this service, I think that more people would use this service than they would a commuter air service, simply because of better connection times, getting to places faster. It would also open the door, I think, for more travel that's not always business related, maybe for leisure travel, both coming to the Shoals area and going away from the Shoals area. So as far as generating revenue, some of the revenue coming from the EAS program would help with that, but we could also find other sources of revenue to cover.
And would the cost be to finish the production of the facility in Barton as well as implementing the new?
I think that some of the initial costs would be to retrofit some of the production facilities in Barton, because currently it's made to create more of a transport type rail car and not a passenger car.
Are you proposing that the high-speed passenger rail cars run on the same railway infrastructure as the current freight system, or are you proposing to lay down new track?
It would most likely take new tracks, simply because of the way the technology functions. The current rail system that we use primarily for freight transfer would not be able to support this platform.
Do you foresee that as being more of a local, state, or federal project?
I believe it would be some of all, simply because more people would be able to benefit from this program. It would allow travel resources to be utilized not only on the local and regional and state level, but also national level as well.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Todd Manley. Todd was raised in the Shoals area and is a graduate of UNA. He has spent 16 years in information technology, and he's currently serving as a technology specialist for a public school district, dealing with server, security, and network administration. So please help me welcome Todd Manley.
Thanks. Give me just 1 second to make sure this is gonna go here for my presentation. I feel like I'm on Shark Tank. That's pretty cool. Just as long as nobody tries to buy my idea for royalties, I'll be good. As she said, I'm Todd Manley, and I want to talk to you about big data, data warehouses. So why data centers? Data centers are essentially where companies, both large and small, store all of their data. Facebook, Pinterest, anything you use today is served out of a data center. It's completely essential to technology infrastructure today. We've also, it's what you hear referred to as the cloud. When you hear someone speak about the cloud, it's data centers. We've seen an increasing movement to the cloud. Increasingly, companies will want to take their data that's on-site, move it off-site, so they don't have to take care of it, store it, or power it, and pay somebody else to let them do that. One of the other driving factors too is data centers are essentially that important. They're the heart of the modern internet and technology infrastructure today. So we also see tech companies that are based primarily on the West Coast that have data centers there are now looking to the eastern U.S. for locations to build data centers to balance their data offerings so they can better serve customers on this side of the country. That puts us exactly where they need to be. So while the show, or in other words, big data is a big stinking deal to technology today. So why the Shoals? We've got cheap and reliable power here from TVA. Our power rates for industry are well below national average. That's the biggest concern for most companies with data centers. We are located with close proximity to a large body of water that can be leveraged to cool these data centers. the answer is not always just put a bigger air conditioner in it. We need to use water or some type of creative way to cool these data centers, and water is often that solution. We also have no major threats from hurricanes or earthquakes in our areas. We have relatively inexpensive and available real estate. Our proximity to airports and larger metro areas is advantageous to these large companies. I like to say that data centers are rural America's contribution to technology infrastructure. But we've got some challenges. Our climate, we're going to have to work with companies to overcome the problems that they have with the heat that they produce. We're going to have to incentivize power and also provide tax and other monetary incentives to get them here. And lastly, the benefits. Tech companies are good environmental stewards historically. I think they'd be great for our community. They also can find creative ways to deal with the heat that they produce, including pushing power back into the grid. They also like to invest in their community. But the biggest reason, it's going to attract other technology business. If companies have their data here, they're going to also want to be located close to their data. Thanks. I'll take any questions.
How do you propose dealing with the high-speed access issue?
We're relatively close to both Nashville and Atlanta, which are major hubs for internet access. We do have a relatively good connection through Atlanta Metro. With us close to Nashville, I feel that with the right push by the right people and with the right companies behind it, we can push for another major connectivity point to Nashville to kind of give us dual redundancy there and to open up additional bandwidth.
You are preaching to the choir right now. I have thought TVA property would be a great place for data centers for years, for the same reason, power and cooling.
We don't have an amusement park there first.
Well, those are the two, you're right, those are the two things they need, is power and cooling. What I'm trying to get my head wrapped around is what kind of jobs it produces, because data centers don't necessarily have a lot of employees, but it could be an entryway, as you said, into other tech-type industries to come here. But tell me what you know about the jobs in-house that they produce, please.
The data centers themselves aren't a high concentration of jobs. We are located close to the other metro areas we can pull talent from, but I think we've got a lot of talent here in the Shoals that can fill those jobs in those data centers. What I feel most hopeful about on the idea is the residuals. Again, companies, and we've seen this with the North Carolina corridor where there's currently a lot of data centers now with Apple and Google. We've seen companies locate right outside that corridor because they've also got their data there. They want to be close to it. And it also means that connectivity's usually been bumped up in that area to accommodate for the data center. So that's another draw for them to locate there, is they'll have higher connectivity. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, before we move on to the university category, we have a presentation from Dr. Greg Gaston. A little info on him. He's a professor in the Department of Geography at UNA. In 2013, he received a Fulbright Fellowship, one of the most prestigious and competitive academic honors in the world, that allows him to share his geography expertise with students and fellow professors in Tanzania. Dr. Gaston.
I'm supposed to be amusing, I think. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I will try to be amusing. I tested this a few minutes ago over in my building. And it turns out that the same wireless command bandwidth used here is coming out of that wireless hub up there. So I launched it, no problem. in the office is it turned left and flew into the wall. Stayed up against the wall, shredding a poster until it split in. I was practicing my skills to get it around the room because I said, I can do this. So I was outside doing it. This and that are not compatible. So, my apologies. It's a little bit of music, but it's not down music. Yeah, I was just smart enough to be a professor who knew that if you're a professor, you don't have to grow up. So, will this go forward? Which one? Yeah. No? There it is. Real quickly, I've been fascinated with flying for a long time. The individual standing there with the hat facing away from me is my grandfather. My uncle is up there close to the Jenny. This was a barnstormer that landed close to the farm in Kansas. And my uncle strapped a fighter plane on his back and flew 50 missions and came home, and that's his airplane, number 49 there. So I dressed the drone up in the checker tail of the 325th because I figure if I gotta fly one, might as well have his. Mankind's been trying to find the bird's eye view for a long time. And I'm not kidding, this is a real photograph. They painted little cameras and strapped them onto the pigeons. And there it is. You got a wing over there and a wing over here, and you're seeing the building as the pigeon flies over. They made postcards out of them and sold them. So we've been trying to find this view from the air for a very long time. Airplanes did it, balloons have done it. We invented photography and balloons and aircraft and flying at about the same time. So it's concurrent development. So just like the aircraft is relatively mature, although this is very cool, photography has developed to the point where I've got to hang a little GoPro camera hanging on there that takes incredibly high resolution photographs and weighs almost nothing. Compared to this photograph, the camera here weighed 1,400 pounds, had an 8.5 by 4.5 foot glass plate in it, and it was carried up by kites, 20 of the kites, to get the famous, dude, this is ridiculous. San Francisco in ruins. Like I said, the first airplane flight, powered flight, 1903, the first photographic flight, 1909, 6 years later. So we invented these things about the same time. So what I've been doing with this is, I'm doing archaeological mapping. I can show you just a few slides about that. One of my students, I think this is how I got into this, was talking to Dr. Bora and made the mistake of talking too much, so now we know that this is going on. We've got a little device that lets us look at color infrared, vegetative health. So he wants to do that, some precision agriculture research with it. And then I want to do some generation of point clouds, and that's going to take more time than the 5 minutes I got, so I'm not going to do it. Cemeteries, we've been mapping them. In the fur hat is George Mikowski, the Lord High Commissioner of Cemeteries in Lauderdale County. He really, truly is. And we've been doing all sorts of things like electrical resistance imaging, trying to find out where they are, because like I said, you don't have to grow up, you just play around with cool toys and you be a professor. It's fun. But we're going to Scotland. We've got students signed up now. We're headed for Scotland on the 17th of June because George, this is Eve, has been looking at ruins in Scotland, and we're going to take students and do classic archaeological mapping, and we're going to fly that and capture imagery and bring them up and drop them into the GIS. And so that's what the proximate cause of this thing was. And of course, color infrared, you've seen it. Red is not red. Red is near infrared. We simply shift the spectrum over a little bit. And I don't know if you realize this, but almost every single digital camera is sensitive to near infrared radiation.
take a remote control, turn your camera on sometime, point the remote control at the camera, it'll come on, and you'll see the little lights. That says your camera is sensitive to near infrared radiation. So what we're going to do is we've got a little lens, we pop it in here. We're going to we get NDVI data. Just did something else. This is spectral response curves. My students get a test over this tomorrow. I was just fooling around. These are plants. My wife likes those silly silk plants. One of them is silk and one of them is alive. Can you tell which one's which? Now you can.
The weird purple one is dead. The bright white one, the high reflectance near infrared radiation is alive.
So what we're going to do is look at precision agriculture applications for that. And the real plants, high infrared. Classic sodded yard. You can just see where it's not growing. It all visually is green, but the near infrared picks up on the fact that it is not actively growing. And you can come and I can give you a whole lecture on this with less than 5 minutes sometimes. So. Sorry. Wake up. Am I done? Thank you.
Now I'll turn it back to the real ideas. I just play for a little.
All right, so I'm once again here to remind you about our Twitter feed. We have about 50 tweets, and we just keep on tweeting as many times as you can. We'll have this slide back up. All right, so it is now my pleasure to welcome Dr. Greg Carnes. Dr. Carnes serves as Dean of the College of Business at UNA. He is well known as an academic leader at the national level, having served as president of the Accounting Program Leadership Group. He currently serves as president of the North Alabama Society of CPAs chapter. Please help me welcome Dr. Greg Carnes.
Thank you. Well, let me express my appreciation to several different groups of people tonight. This is a fabulous event, and I want to thank all the folks who've worked with Dr. Bora and those on his strategic doing team to help make this a reality and make this happen. I also want to thank the judges, so appreciate you giving your time tonight to come and help with this competition. Also all the sponsors who've helped us sponsor the event tonight, and then the participants. You've shown the initiative to take the time, especially all the participants, but especially the high school students. So to really take the initiative to step out and to be curious about these types of events and to how you can help your community and how you can get together and share ideas is great for you to be doing already at this point in your life. Rod, thanks for coming tonight and helping with the program. Rod Shepard's a good friend of mine, and he does a great job over at the Freshman Center. And Steve, appreciate you being part of the program tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing Kirby Best, and thank you, Kirby, thanks for being part of the program tonight, and then also the mayor, Mickey Haddock. Mickey, thanks for being here tonight. In terms of do we have the strategic doing slide? If you have that, Amanda, you can pull that up. But I want to tell you how we got to where we are tonight. So in October, the College of Business sponsored a conference that was a strategic doing conference. And we brought together about 40 community and business leaders from the Shoals area, and we met in the Performance Center here, or in the loft here at the GUC for about 6 hours. And we had 4 groups, and we were looking at we were investigating the question of what would it look like if the Shoals was a digital technology hub. And what we were doing that day is using the strategic doing process that Janice Fadden, who is an executive in residence with us here in the College of Business, she is certified in this, has been so for several years, and she earned that and really got involved in this in her previous role before she moved to this area, when she was the president and CEO of the Rockford, Illinois Area Economic Development Council. So she brought this process to us. So there were 4 groups working on 4 different tasks. One of the groups is the group that the Dr. Bora is helping to lead. And, we brought together folks from the university, folks from the community, folks from the high schools, and when you bring folks together and you have each of them talk about the assets that they can bring to help try to solve a problem or solve an issue, and then they're committed to that task. And with the strategic doing process, it's pretty simple in one way, but in another way, it's really a great breakthrough in helping with strategic planning and in trying to solve difficult problems, because it's a process that forces those who are involved in it to stay engaged with it. And so back in October, there was no idea that we would have an event like this tonight. And the group that Dr. Bora has been leading, this started in October with them brainstorming about various things that their group could be doing to help the shows move forward to becoming a digital technology hub. And when they decided to pull this program together, the fact that we had so many different constituencies there is what has led to a great event and a great program like this tonight. So why am I talking so much about strategic doing? Well, because you see here, we are going to sponsor, UNA is a strategic doing certification course. So you could actually, if you go through this course, you can learn how to use the strategic doing process to help your organization, to help your company develop agile strategies that are incorporating lean management skills. And it's a process that it is strategic, but it's focused on action and doing. And really just taking very small steps. And so from October to March, we got to this with the big idea. This is going to be held in April 21st through 23rd. We're actually going to be hosting this event. First Metro Bank is actually going to let us use their a conference room that they have on the top floor of their building to host this event, so we appreciate them allowing us to do that. There's information on the table out front about this event, and we would love for you to consider registering for this and being part of the of learning more about strategic doing. There's when you pick up the brochure, you'll see there's a website there that has a wealth of information and other contact information. So with that, I'm going to let us continue with the program. Once again, I appreciate all the effort that everybody's put into this tonight and for attending the program. Thank you.
Okay, to kick off the university category, we have Ethan Farr. Ethan is a junior at UNA. This is his first semester. He transferred from Northwest Shoals Community College. He's currently majoring in finance and minoring in management. He's also a member of Phi Theta Kappa.
Hi, my name is Ethan Farr. And I'm a student here at the University of North Alabama. And my idea for the Shoals is not an original idea, but an expansion of a program that is already successful on the University of North Alabama campus. The main card is the official ID for UNA. My idea is the quad card. The quad card concept will advance digital technology in the Northwest Alabama region by allowing residents of the Shoals to digitally upload personal, financial, medical, and consumer information into a database that can be retrieved by using one card. The card will streamline access to information and will accelerate transactions in our fast-paced society. I've actually brought my main card just so everyone can see it. Don't look at the mugshot, but the card is very helpful in my everyday life. The quad card would be named for the Quad Cities, and it's a digital way to unite the schools, and consumer reward possibilities would help bring people to the idea of it. So there's 3 phases. Phase 1, brainstorm ideas, research, brand the card, create and plan an action. Identify partners, design database, market the card, and phase 3 would be delivery and evaluation. There's pros and cons to it. The benefits would be consolidation of the information that everyone has. It'd be easy access, quick transactions, job creation, and it would unite the community. The cons would be if you lost your card or it was stolen, or privacy is probably the biggest one, because not many people are keen on having all their information on one card. But it's just a unique way to build digital partners with the local Chamber of Commerce, government agencies, financial institutions, medical facilities, educational institutions, businesses, and consumers. Are there any questions and comments?
Would you be comfortable placing all of your financial information, medical information, everything about you in a single database that I can hack into?
Well, when I think of that, you pretty much have all your information already in one spot. If you have an email address, just about anybody can get into your thing, get into your information, and you got your credit card. But I've actually worked at a hospital, and I worked as a registration clerk in the ER, and just as much time as it took, like it could take 30 minutes to an hour to get somebody back there. But if they had that information, they could just swap it, and all that would be done. All the paperwork would be completed.
Thank you.
Thank you for your consideration.
Next, we have Jason Summer. Jason is a senior at the University of North Alabama, majoring in computer information systems, and he will graduate in July of 2015. He also enjoys performing on stage and has been cast in several UNA productions. Jason would like to thank the committee for the opportunity to present his idea and wishes the other finalists the best of luck. Please help me welcome James Summer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the school, local governments, and business community. Simply put, I recommend the Muscle Shoals, Florence area become the electric vehicle research and development center of the South. I recommend that we lead this region and possibly the country into the next generation of alternatively powered vehicles. The time is now. All major car companies have electric or hybrid vehicles in their lines. Tesla is a company specializing in electric vehicles. Initially, electric vehicles have had issues with range, battery life, and the ability to travel on highways. Now, electric vehicles are hitting 150 to 250 miles per charge. Tesla's P85D coupe can go from 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and batteries are degrading by only 5% after 300,000 miles use. This technology is about to hit its stride. The knowledge and preliminary research is out there and is ready to be improved upon by those willing to commit. The University of North Alabama can spearhead the research aspect of this new industry. A new research college devoted to the alternative sustainable fuel sources, including those used by electric vehicles, will be established. This area has an abundance of solar, wind, and water resources. UNA is in a prime location to conduct this research. Additionally, the university's transportation system would be converted to an electric transit system. Northwest Shoals Community College will create certifications and degree programs specializing in solar panel, wind turbine, and electric vehicle maintenance and repair, which would prepare students for jobs not only in this area, but all over the country. From a business perspective, the Quad City region has a unique mix of economically depressed and stable areas. The local governments, UNA, and local businesses would purchase some of these depressed or vacant areas and turn empty parking lots into smaller solar panel fields, old gas stations into charging hubs, and deserted buildings into satellite research stations near these locations. Local businesses could install charging stations near their shops for customers, creating a welcoming environment. And finally, the Muscle Shoals area would reach out nationally through a tourist campaign, especially to electric car owners and electric car companies, and promote itself as a vacation destination, inviting the utilization of electric vehicles while enjoying the many natural and historical attractions we have to offer. This is a bold direction and requires only a community that is able to come together to focus on it and champion a vision. There is an excitement and a swelling of potential energy that is just beneath the surface of the Muscle Shoals area. This would be a risky undertaking, but this area is ready for something exciting and progressive, and the area is used to thriving under such conditions. It wasn't so long ago the Muscle Shoals area was boldly changing the face of music. Now it's time to take that same boldness and lead the change in the way that we drive. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
How do you propose we attract those industries given the competition from Silicon Valley, India, China, the EU, and a long list of other places that are trying to do the same thing?
I believe this country is ready for some area to become the national champions of this technology. It is a scary and risky step to do so. And what you need is a community that is willing to come together through business, government, and higher education to do so. And you just don't have that type of that gumption yet that you're seeing. And I think that if this area could do that, it would attract places like companies like Ford and Tesla and Toyota, and to start bringing their technology and working with the area. And as my presentation describes, make this a hub for electric car research. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
This is a very forward-thinking idea, but what kind of research have you and information have you found as far as the timeline? You know, electric cars, as you said, all companies have one, but they're not really commonplace. Like the chicken and the egg, we probably put enough charging stations, and not enough people have electric cars to, justify having a charging station. So what kind of timeline would you foresee that the charging stations existed, that they would be fully utilized?
This is not a quick answer for the area. This is probably a 5 to 10 year implementation plan to turn this area into the electric car research hub and destination center. It's going to take investment and commitment from the community, and you won't see the results initially. It will take 5 to 10 years. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, up next we have Alexandria Butkeray. Alexandria is a freshman at UNA majoring in foreign language. She loves getting involved on campus and exploring all the learning opportunities they have. She's a member of 5U, a student life editor at Diorama, and a member of the Freshman Forum. Alexandria?
Good evening, y'all. As you know, my name is Alexandria, and I am a freshman, and coming to UNA has been so awesome for me. But I just want to present to you my idea of a community technology and learning center. A little technologically disadvantaged, which is kind of why I need this place. Did I go backwards? Okay. Problem. So you want us to be technologically sound, savvy, and centered. But how are we going to do that? When I was in high school, I didn't have the opportunity to be able to learn computer programming. I didn't have any idea about Adobe Photoshop. We had one class that taught us Word, Microsoft Excel, the basics. But what if we had a place for people to learn more than that? For the community, not just high school students, not just university, everybody at all levels, for everybody to learn. We basically have a lack of resources. Yes, the university, we're here, but what about others? Create a center for everybody to come. It would be a way for community, business, education to collaborate. Ideas would come out of it. And would contain up-to-date technology, have computers, rooms, software that, like Adobe, InDesign, probably others I'm not aware because I'm not in that field. I haven't had that chance to explore, and I want other people to have the opportunity. How are we going to know if we want to be a graphic designer? How do other people know that they want to design apps? And why don't we have that here? So I want there to be a place for ideas like these middle school and high school kids, robotics center. There would be a place there. 3D technology, that's really coming along. The benefits produce unity. Future technology leaders can be made. Okay, we're not Silicon Valley, but who says we have to be? Why can't we create our own name? We're already the Shoals, and people already know us for our music. Why not make it known for a place where young people have ideas come up? Facebook started on a college campus. Why can't we be that people? Why can't we be those people? Sorry for my direction. So, can you imagine? Printing, that's a new technology. This is one place where we can just start with a little bit of technology. I don't know why we don't have it yet. I mean, think of all the resources we have here and how it would pull everybody together and big ideas would come out of it. Y'all would be able to develop your ideas more. So that is my idea, and if you have any questions.
Would this be for adults as well as students?
It would. As a community center, I think of it as from technology, adults, like, I want it to be available for every level. For those who maybe can't afford to, but if they don't have the money to invest and be able to learn this. I think adults and high school kids and middle school alike should be able to come here because this is for our community. This isn't just for university. I mean, we have some of those resources, but you have to be taking classes to be able to have them. Thank you all so much. Have a great night.
So that wraps it up for the university presenters. Up next we have Tyler Yasaka with his robot. Tyler is a web developer and a third-year computer science major at UNA. When he's not studying or working, he enjoys activities such as fumbling around with musical instruments, haphazardly climbing and jumping over large obstacles, and inventing rather impractical contraptions with miniature computers. So please help me welcome Tyler Yasaka.
Okay, this is a $30 miniature computer called an Arduino. I'm going to show you one thing you can do with an Arduino. So, So, first thing you notice is that it can detect edges and back away from them. Well, also, it detects when it comes to an obstacle, and back away from that. And I programmed it to I programmed it, I thought, to find pennies, but I keep thinking it finds the penny without actually finding it. Yeah, keep on a penny for me. So, anyways, I just got that in the mail like 2 days ago, so it's not really doing anything really fancy right now, but it's $30 for the computer. I use these things for projects all the time. It has a whole lot of potential, I think, for all kinds of projects. So, yeah, you can use your imagination for different things to do with it. Thank you.
Okay, next up we want to welcome our keynote speaker for the evening, Mr. Kirby Best. Kirby is the leader of the newest group of companies in the Shoals area, Performance Scrubs, Performance Sleepwear, International Designer House, and On Point Manufacturing. Their goal is to disrupt the apparel industry with new and advanced technology and change the way we buy and make clothing in the United States, merging technology with craftsmanship. On a fun note, many years ago, Kirby was the driver of Canada Won, the 4-man bobsled team, and a month ago he competed at the World Masters Games in the biathlon category. Kirby?
Thank you, Kristen. I'm just so honored to be here. It's just fun to be with the brightest and the best of the minds around here. I am going to tell a story. Bora knew I would start off with a story, so I did get to compete in the World Biathlon Championships last month. It was a traumatic experience for me. I hadn't skied for 35 years. I hadn't shot competitively for 35 years. And if you want to know a little bit about the sport, it's a unique sport that you ski about 20 kilometers and you stop 4 times and you shoot 5 shots every time you stop. And you have to hit a target about this size, all 5 shots, and all 20 shots over the race. So over the race, I missed twice out of that 20 times. And if anybody follows their heart rate, my heart rate was about 192 beats per minute going up all the hills and about 190 when I came into the range. So hard to shoot at that age, at that heart rate. So I have to tell you how I did. I was dead last. I mean dead last. I wasn't even in the game. I was so far behind. Now you have to remember that these guys that are competing in the World Games are ex-Olympians. Most of them have won medals. Most of them were previous World Championships, so it was fun. So I'm telling you that story for a purpose, 2 purposes. The first one is, don't be afraid to fail. You know, I loved it. It was fun. The second one was, when you compete with the best in the world. And for me, to compete with these gold medalists and everything else, to be last was no shame. It was a lot of fun, but it was so interesting to be around that energy and that enthusiasm and that sort of talent that it's fun to be that part of that group. So I tell that because I just want the kids today that I'm watching some extraordinary ideas and some extraordinary young people come up here and tell their ideas. I couldn't have done that at their age, and so it's fun to watch that. I think the Shoals is such a magical area. I mean, obviously, you know the music, but the Billy Reeds and the Natalie Channons, you know, there's some creative ideas coming out of this area that are second to none. And these ideas that are coming out of these young kids are also second to none. I'm so excited to be with the company that I am. I get to work with some of the brightest people in the world. Joel Anderson, who brought us to the Shoals, you know, it's just fun to be able to communicate with somebody like that. 3 of the other people on our team, Dr. Pullen. Dr. Pullen was head of software for IBM, and he was educated at both Cambridge and Oxford, hold degrees from both. The 3rd guy on the team is Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson wrote most of the software for the Hubble Space Telescope. And we brought this group together to change the industry, the cut and sew industry. And although on the surface you're going to look at our company and go, wow, they make pajamas, they make scrubs, but what we're doing is really trying to change how you buy clothing and how we make clothing. And we will change the world in that effect and bring you better clothes faster and more customized for you. But it's fun to be with that group, and the fourth member of the group is here with us, Sophie Franken, who's probably one of the brightest kids I've ever met, and she now runs our whole facility here in the Shoals. And Sophie, I hate to tell you her age, but she's 21 years of age. So guys, these are the people that are taking over the world. I'm going to conclude, oh, well, actually, I want to talk about one other thing. You talk about excitement and what's happening in the future. There's something called the, well, it's Ray Kurek's theory, and it's called the law of accelerating returns. And the theory goes something like this. In the next 12 to 18 months, computers will double their capacity, their capabilities. In the next 5 years, it'll be 32 times better than it is today. In 10 years, it's 1,000 times better. In 20 years, it's 1 million, 30, it's 1 billion, and 40, it's 1 trillion. You guys are going to have tools that we can't even imagine today. You'll be able to model new ideas and new thoughts faster and more accurately than we've ever been. So it's exciting. You know, I get excited when a new Macintosh comes out and it's twice as fast. Could you imagine something that's 1 million times faster? Boy, the world is at your feet. So, to the kids today, you know, Hill, I can hardly wait so I can charge my phone more often. I can hardly wait to find Carol more areas in the Shoals to visit. There are some great ideas, and I wish everybody the best of luck. I'm so glad I'm not a judge because it's going to be a tough one. Thank you very much for including us.
Next, we have Heather Murphy and Ann Ryan Levitt. These two ladies spoke with more than 1,000 high school and middle school students about this event and just getting the word out. They worked very hard designing the marketing logos and messages and creating and hosting the website. This program could not have happened without their help or the help of our sponsors. So please help me welcome Heather and Ann Ryan as they offer the vote of thanks to those who helped us succeed in this venture.
Good evening. My name is Heather Murphy and this is Ann Ryan. We both are members on the committee board, we both are members for the committee board for the Shoals Big Idea. Just wanted to start just a little bit on a few things about my company. I'm honored not only to be here to represent my company, but also to lend my services over the whole project of this event. Also, I would like to begin with how I came out here to the Shoals. I'm actually not a resident of this area, and so I recently moved out here 4 years ago when I married my husband, Dillard Murphy. Some of you may know. But when I first moved here, I was actually very intrigued with a lot of the resources that were available, not only that I'd heard from him, but also other colleagues. Some of my favorite things about the Shoals are not just the history, but the resources, the education, and also the business opportunities that are available. Before I started the Modesty Shop, I did some research, and this is going to be quite interesting for some of you that like to shop as myself. I was very startled when I seen that women like myself that like to shop spend over $500 billion a year just on shopping. And so I was very interested and very intrigued about that as far as my business venture. I had started the business shortly after that, after finding those statistics. For those of you who know my husband, know him as a businessman. His reply to that venture was that we needed to start this yesterday. So shortly after that, we began the Modesty Shop. When I did start the Modesty Shop, I looked into doing business on both a local level, but also on a global level. With many dynamics of starting a business regarding logistics, quality assurance, as well as production turnaround, I quickly realized that starting a business here in the Shoals was definitely necessary. I'm proud to say that the manufacturer distributor is Performance Scrubs, also a local business. They specialize in customized antimicrobial scrubs, whereas we specialize in customized ladies' business apparel. Our mission at the Modesty Shop is to provide conservative clothing with tailoring solutions because we believe that sizing should not be a one-size-fits-most. This would not have been possible had I not have had the tools and resources available to start this business. I also expect more clothing companies to begin here in the Shoals area due to the local recent manufacturing company, Performance Scrubs. I wonder If there are more tools and technology resources available, will that also disrupt the industry here in the Shoals? Thank you.
We'd like to take a moment and thank our judges, our sponsors, Dr. Bora, and the whole Shoals Big Idea Committee. Because without them, this event wouldn't be possible. The Shoals Idea sponsors are the City of Florence, the Cardiovascular Institute of the Shoals, the Florence City Schools, Robin Way Furniture, Shoals Chamber of Commerce, Party Pros, the Modesty Shop, Affirma Scrubs, and of course, UNA. Tonight, we have had the Florence High School ambassadors help, as well as Randy Bruce and his broadcasting class. They have been live streaming this event, so thank you all for being here. Robin Wade has graciously donated gifts to the judges, and this, I'm pretty sure the bench is right there, this beautiful bench to the winner of the university category. So thank you all for being here, and I'm going to get our MCs out for you. Thank you all.
Okay, now an exciting part. We're going to announce the crowd favorite that we had going on via Twitter. I'd like to invite Janice Fadden up here to talk for a little bit. Janice is the executive in residence at UNA College of Business. She works on business engagement strategies like 3-day startups and events like this. And she's also responsible for bringing the famous strategic doing program to the Shoals. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. I really am, what a wonderful evening. And I appreciate all the participants and what they presented today. And know that behind them were many that weren't selected, but are good ideas too. So I'm really excited to see what Santana's, the committee that he's guiding, the Brainpower Pathfinder Committee will do next with all these ideas and how we'll move them forward. It's been very exciting for me to see how quickly this region has picked up strategic doing and is running with it. And I'm really pleased about tonight and the upcoming events. I think one of the best things I've learned is this strategic doing process. It's changed the way I view getting work done. In today's world, most of us don't report to each other, and yet we need to get work done to advance a community. And that's what strategic doing can do. And it can transform communities. Ed Morrison, the founder of this, has taken it all over the world. And they have been to Australia, where they're trying to reinvent the Sunshine Coast. They've been in Alaska, which is trying to deal with what's going to happen when oil checks stop. They've been to the state of Kansas. They've been over at New Jersey Institute of Technology. They've been, in a couple of weeks, they'll be back to the Tampa Bay Partnership, and I'll be attending with them. So we are part of not just the national movement, but an international movement for communities to look at the assets they have and combine them in new ways to advance and make the community more robust. So I'm pleased tonight. I must say, on your program it says that Dr. Carmen Burkhalter would be here. Dr. Burkhalter is the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and she has bronchitis tonight, so that's why she's not here, and I'm the stand-in. But my job is to announce the crowd favorite. That was from the tweets, and that goes to the Brooks Robotics team, so let's congratulate them. Everybody stand here. Come on up.
We're going to do a handshake picture for the... Hold this up. Go on in closer to your friend. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to welcome Mayor Mickey Haddock. Mr. Haddock was elected mayor of the city of Florence in August of 2012, and he started his 4-year term on November 5th, 2012. His political career began when he was elected Lauderdale County License Commissioner in 1992. He was previously employed as a firefighter in the Florence Fire Department and retired from the Alabama National Guard after 34 years of service. So without further ado, please help me welcome Mayor Mickey Haddock.
Thank you. It's great to be home. I was in Washington for 3 or 4 days. I left this morning to get back, and I can tell you, there's a whole lot more creativity, a whole lot more innovation, a whole lot more cooperation, collaboration, partnerships, a whole lot more going on in our city than it is in Washington, D.C., I can assure you. I just want to say thank you to each and every one that has been involved. I'm not going to call names. Dr. Carnes, Greg did a great job a while ago of recognizing everyone that has played a part in this and has taken the idea of a Shoals Big Idea competition and made it real. It's events like this that we can partner together that will continue to give us the opportunity to be successful in our endeavors as we go forward. I thought it was important as the mayor to recognize the innovation in our community. And last year I started the Mayor's Innovation Award. And Kirby, as you were speaking tonight, you mentioned 2 of those. Billy Reed and Natalie Channing was 2 of the winners for that award. The other one was IP Watch. And we have Sean Collin with us, who is also with that company. So we recognize the innovation, we recognize those that are successful in our community through the innovation that they have. One other thing that I did read today, and we've talked a lot today about mobile technology, we talked about robotics, we talked about lots of different things. One interesting fact that I found, and I had several, but I'm not going to go through them, 90% of consumer transactions are started on one device and are finished on another device. Neil Mohan of Google said that. And he said, furthermore, in 2014, we'll have more smartphones and more tablets sold, grossly so, than we will PCs. So our technology is changing every day, and we need to stay on that cutting edge of technology and trying to do the things that we're doing here and continue this process forward to see where we can reach. Where can we take this goal? Where can we reach when we talk about technology hubs, training centers, public-private partnerships? Just how high can we reach? So again, I just want to say congratulations to each and every one that participated tonight. All of you are winners. If you will step boldly forward and present your idea in front of an audience, you're a winner. And so I want to congratulate each and every one of you for participating. And those of you that will be recognized with the best idea, those other ideas are great too, and just know that you are a winner. And again, one more time, thanks to each and every one that did have a part of this and putting this together for the Shoals area and for the city of Florence too. Thank you very much.
Will the committee members please join us on stage as Mayor Mickey Haddock delivers the awards?
All right, folks, step up. Our community members, please come onto the stage. Robin, what are you waiting for? Come on up. Andy. Heath, come on. I think folks are a little bit scared of coming up to the stage. Mitch, come on. Joey, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for me to call you? You got to be up here. Who else do I see? If I missed anyone, please excuse me. But with that in mind, I guess I'm going to let Anisha do the honors of announcing it, and the mayor will give out the awards. Thank you.
All right, so the winner of the middle school, high school category is Hill Levitt. The winner of the community category is Carol Pyle. Jason Summer.
Each one of these winners get a cash award of $500. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate the three winners. As many of the speakers have mentioned earlier, this is just a beginning of a very long journey, and we hope the community will stay with us. You have seen these wooden trays out here, and you see a bench up there. And many of you are wondering, what in the world is that, this bench? Robin Wade, a very creative and an innovative person in our area, has been kind enough to donate his time and energy to put these items together for us. The bench is only one, but we've got three winners. But he is a little bit biased towards our university. So he believes that this bench should go to the winner in the university category. Jason, come on up. Robin, can you lift the bench up and see if you can carry the bench or not? Oh, you have to be the one carrying it. By the way, according to Robin, this bench takes about 5 years to make. From the process to finish, 5 years. Hey, Joey, by the way, why are you down there? Come on up. Come on up, Joey, please. And there are 12 trays out here. What are these trays for, and why is it only 12? We'd like for each one of the judges to come up to the stage and accept this token of appreciation on behalf of the community. So judges, please come up to the stage. Robin Wade is going to do the honors of giving out the trays to each one of the judges. Robin, here you go. Labor of love, folks. Labor of love.
Yeah, thank you. I made it.
Well, that concludes our evening, and we thank the judges and all of you for coming out to hear the first big idea competition, and we hope you'll come back for more. We'll hone our skills, and it'll just get better and better all along. Thank you, competitors. I hope you will keep your ideas coming, and those of you who did not present tonight but did turn in a presentation, please do it again. Thank you all. Good night.
Can we get all the winners on stage?